Hey, what up, Bigrat310 back at it. As you can see by the title, today I am starting my first Q&A. Let me tell you something. Before, people would send me requests on making videos about a certain topic, and I would do it. And now I thought, why don't I just turn those into questions for a possible Q&A? Because I know in my first few videos, I was going crazy, like, send in questions for a Q&A, send in questions for a Q&A. And you know what? Now people are sending me requests for videos. I can turn those into questions. As you can see by the box right over there, I only have 4 questions because that's all I wanted. I can go, my Q&As, if you won't go watch my Q&As, expect them to be a low number of questions. If I get a lot at one time, then maybe. The ones that are short. But I usually pick low number of questions because that way I have a decent amount of time to talk about each one. I've seen a lot of Q&As on YouTube where people just, where people just, like rush through every question because they're running out of time, or they have to make 2 parts. Some people I know don't like making 2 parts. They rush through, some even skip some of the questions. I thought, no, everybody has a right to have their opinions heard. So by doing Q&As with small amounts of questions, I can get a large, I can say a lot of information about a certain topic. Here, this first question is from 7-Story Magnet. He gave me a Wrestlemania prediction card. It included Orton versus Cena, Triple H versus Edge, Taker versus HBK, Hardy versus Hardy, the Money in the Bank, Beth, Melina, and something involving Rourke and Jericho. And then he says, do you think that sounds like a pretty reasonable prediction? For the most part, I do. Like I said in my Raw review, now that Shawn is fighting JBL at No Way Out, I'm almost 80%, let's say 80%. I'm almost 80% sure that if Shawn wins, it's over with JBL. No mas. If JBL wins, then obviously they're going to have a match at Mania. So I think the only person Shawn can fight at Mania besides JBL is The Undertaker. So I agree with you there. Orton and Cena and Triple H Edge, they're good title matches. They just seem too generic. WWE likes throwing in some triple threats occasionally in the main events. And Orton versus Cena just looks a little out of place. I mean, it's most likely what's going to happen. I just, something in my mind keeps telling me that they're going to do something else with that. Hardy versus Hardy, I already said I agree, although I think it's more likely that they might do Edge, having a match with Edge and the Hardys, and maybe even Christian, like a Fatal 4-Way type thing, because I said before in my other videos, if you put Hardy versus Hardy on a card after the 2 title matches and Taker HBK, that makes Hardy versus Hardy look really, really weak, when really this rivalry should be given a sufficient amount of time. I've said it numerous times, this rivalry should have started at SummerSlam, and they should have ended it at Survivor Series. With the occasional drift following it afterwards, like Edge and Christian had, I guess you can say. Because now towards the road to WrestleMania, their feud is only going to look weaker, not stronger, because the title is not involved. The whole thing is, Matt is jealous that he works so hard and Jeff barely does anything, and Jeff is the champion. So really, if that's what he's jealous about, then shouldn't the feud be for the title? I said in my Hardy versus Hardy video, I was really pissed that the title's not on the line. So having this match at Mania, I'm not saying I don't think it's going to happen, because sadly it might. I really don't agree with it. And definitely not Beth versus Melina. I really don't see that happening. I see Beth regaining the women's title pretty soon, actually. And then I see her fighting Rosa at Mania in the typical Mickie James versus Trish Stratus and Sable versus Tori matches at Mania, because I know in one of my other videos some guy kept bothering me that I said Tori Wilson when I clearly said Tori from DX. Rourke, Jericho. If Jericho's not fighting Undertaker, he's definitely fighting Rourke. Jericho would only fight The Undertaker, I guess, if HBK fought JBL. But most likely, see, this could happen and it couldn't happen. They can go one of 2 ways with that. So I don't know what to say there. Wow, 5 minutes on one question. This is from Young Genius 7. The first was from 7-Story Magnet. I don't know if I said that. What is your favorite match to watch? Can any shooter or YouTuber or any wrestling fan in the world answer that question, I cannot tell you my favorite match. I can tell you a variety of my favorite matches. I like, just because I said it first doesn't mean it's my all-time favorite. I'll give you some of the ones that have touched on me through the years. Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels at Mania. Mankind versus Shawn Michaels at Mind Games. Owen Hart versus Bret Hart at SummerSlam in the cage. Eddie Guerrero versus Edge in the no DQ match on SmackDown. My favorite SmackDown match of all time to this day. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle in the Iron Man match. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit at the Royal Rumble. Let me go a little more into the 90s. Shawn Michaels versus Jeff Jarrett at the In Your House. Like I said in my Shawn Michaels versus John Cena DVD battle, the Shawn Michaels versus Jeff Jarrett In Your House is personally one of my favorite Shawn Michaels matches. It is that good. You really have to check it out. Shawn Brett. I have some problems with Shawn Brett. I don't really want to get into that because, like, for the first 20 minutes of Shawn Brett is just really boring. You barely see anything besides, like, Shawn accidentally hitting the announcer. The first 20 minutes is basically that headlock round of a regular wrestling match, but obviously extended. So I'm not too high on Shawn Brett. I like Bret Austin better, believe it or not. Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, Dudleys, I love all their TLC matches. And you know what? Another ladder match that I love, London and Kendrick versus Regal and Taylor versus Hardys and versus Johnny Nitro. That is one of my favorite ladder matches of all time. Get the ladder. Oh, and one of my favorite Raw matches from all time, RVD and Jeff Hardy versus Christian Cage and Chris Jericho versus Kane versus Bubba and Spike. That has to be in my top 5 Raw matches of all time. That was one of the first Raw matches I had seen in a while because I watched it and I stopped watching it. I watched it again. Pretty damn good. Okay, this next question is from the TheRasslingShow. He said, do you think Jericho should go to Smackdown, cancel the Rourke storyline, and face The Undertaker at Wrestlemania 25? No, I really do not want Jericho to fight The Undertaker at Wrestlemania, and this is why. Because I know Taker's going to win. They're not going to have Jericho end the streak. That's just not going to happen. I would rather have Jericho go to SmackDown much later and fight The Undertaker, like a regular pay-per-view, because Jericho has a chance. No one sees Jericho defeating The Undertaker at Mania. Like I said, it either should be not really a young upstart, but like some guy getting his way, like maybe a Brock Lesnar around this, like right before Lesnar won the title. No, probably when he won the title, around there. Like someone like that who could beat The Undertaker at Mania. Or it should be a legend. I don't think it should be anyone in between. Like Shawn Michaels. I wanted personally Ric Flair to fight The Undertaker in his retirement match, because Fathead, Undertaker's my favorite wrestler, and I thought Ric Flair in his retirement match should have been The Undertaker. That was my opinion. His versus Shawn Michaels was excellent. I just really thought he should have fought The Undertaker. So no, I think the Jericho-Rourke storyline, that's before. That's one of the only celebrity storylines, better than Donald Trump and K-Fed and Floyd Money Mayweather, even though I like the Mayweather match. That has potential, because I know Rourke, he can't really wrestle like everyone else, but he's been trained, something that every other celebrity has not. He's been trained properly. And you never know, maybe he can actually pull off a good match, especially since it's Jericho we're talking about here. Not like the Big Show or Bobby Lashley or John Cena that we're using the first, but this is Jericho, a great amateur wrestler. So, yeah, I think they should keep the Rourke storyline. Last question is from Purple Haze 3000. Who do you think the Undertaker should battle at WrestleMania 25? I don't know if I already said this. I think Undertaker should battle Umaga. I really want him to battle Umaga because Umaga was in the world title picture, and then somehow along the way he was just kicked back down. And I really think a feud with The Undertaker would raise his status even more. I would really enjoy a match between Umaga and The Undertaker. They're both very talented. Umaga is one of my favorite big man wrestlers now because he has that Samoan background like Rikishi and The Rock and Yokozuna and Rosie that I just really love that much. So I think that Umaga should fight The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. And if not HBK, if it's not Umaga, it's HBK. I mean, I want the HBK to fight The Undertaker. I just think, maybe I think those guys should fight each other practically at the end of their careers. And they're not there yet. They still have, I'm telling you, they both will be around for another year or two maybe. I would love for Taker to fight Shawn. I won't complain if Taker fights Shawn. I just really think Umaga needs this push, because if he doesn't get it soon, people are going to forget about him like they did about Rikishi. When in 2000 he got his big push in 2001, and then they sort of forgot about it, and then he really never got back to main event status. And I don't want that to happen to Umaga because he's talented. I think that's it. Thank you, Coffee Ninja B8, for finally subscribing. You've been helping me out for a couple months, for like the 2 weeks I've been on YouTube. But thank you now for finally subscribing. Oh wow, 15 seconds. Check Coffee Ninja out. I'll have his link on the side. I'm Bigrat310, and I'm out. Peace.